In the deserts of the American Southwest, there is a story you are not supposed to tell. A name you are not supposed to speak, because even saying it aloud is believed to draw its attention. The Navajo call it Yinal Delushi. It means with it he goes on all fours. We call it the Skinwalker. The Skinwalker is not just a monster. It is not a spirit drifting in the dark. It is not a campfire tale meant only to frighten children. In Navajo tradition, it is something far worse. It is a witch, a person who has turned away from every sacred law, choosing instead to walk in corruption. Among the Navajo, medicine people learn about both healing ways and harmful ways. They must understand evil in order to protect against it, but a skinwalker is one who embraces that evil. One who takes sacred teachings meant to heal and twists them into weapons. To become a skinwalker, the person must commit an act so terrible that it severs their soul from the people forever. Stories say this act is often the murder of a close family member, a brother, a sister. This breaking of the deepest taboo is the initiation. Once it is done, the path of no return begins. Skinwalkers are said to gather in secret in caves on high mesas, far from the eyes of the community. There they perform rituals that are the dark mirror of ceremony. Where medicine people sing to restore balance, skinwalkers chant to invite chaos. Where healers use sacred items to protect, skinwalkers use bones and corpse dust to curse. Some stories claim their rites include acts that defile every boundary of the people, and that each violation feeds their power. And that power is terrible. Skinwalkers can change their form. They wear the skins of animals: coyotes, wolves, foxes, owls, bears, and slip into those forms with unnatural ease. In the animal form, they move faster than the eye can follow, strong enough in the telling to keep pace with a speeding truck, to vanish between one breath and the next. Their senses are sharpened, their intentions are cruel. But there are signs: a wolf with eyes that look human, an owl that stares too long and does not blink, a coyote that laughs in a man's voice. Sometimes they are caught between shapes, shifting from 2 legs to 4 and back again, as if the body cannot decide what it is. They do not always attack. Sometimes they watch, sometimes they follow. They are said to mimic voices, calling out in the sound of a loved one, drawing the curious out into the night, knocking on windows, scraping along walls, pacing across rooftops. They let dread do the work before they strike. Some stories say a skinwalker can curse with a glance, lock eyes with one, and it may enter your body, steal your will, whisper its hunger into your thoughts. The unlucky waste away, stricken by a sickness no ordinary remedy can touch. Others say that exposing a witch for who they are or seeking help from a powerful medicine person can turn the evil back upon itself. There are tales that mention a bullet or blade dusted with white ash, a folkloric countermeasure that only works if it finds the true heart. Because skinwalkers are human, they live among people by day. They may be neighbors, they may be family, they may appear ordinary, but at night they put on the skin and walk as something no longer human. Fear of them runs deep. Even today, many Navajo will not speak of them. To say the word is to invite danger. To tell their story is to risk being heard by the very thing you describe. That silence has kept the legend alive, a shadow that lingers where the firelight fades. Yet there are stories: a window rattling in a dead calm, then the slow drag of something across the roof. A shape pacing a truck on a lonely highway, never falling behind no matter how far the needle climbs. Footprints in the snow that shift from hooves to bare feet to pause and then stop. A man tending sheep who saw a ram stand on 2 legs, laugh in a human voice, and walk into the night. Reports of livestock mutilations with no tracks around the carcass, the ground undisturbed except for the circle where fear took root. For generations, calamities were blamed on skinwalkers, illness without cause, livestock dying in the dark, failed crops, sudden accidents that made no sense. In desperate times, the fear boiled over. In 1878, around the Granada area, oral histories and later research describes a witch purge, where about 40 accused witches were killed, the people believing that only by cutting out the evil could balance be restored. This is not just a story of monsters, it is a story of betrayal. A skinwalker is the worst of all fears, because it was once human, it was once kin. But the legend did not remain only within canyon shadows and firelit hogans. In recent years, it has spilled outward. In the mid-1990s, in Utah, a family on an isolated ranch reported strange lights, mutilated cattle, and a massive wolf-like beast that seemed to shrug off bullets. Newspapers called it Skinwalker Ranch. Books and television followed. The name traveled far beyond Navajo land. Since then, the Skinwalker has become a figure of internet horror. Hikers who hear their own names called from the trees when no one is there. Night videos of pale shapes running on all fours at impossible speed. Tales of glowing eyes staring from the brush, unblinking as the camera shakes. Many of these stories blur together, beliefs from many places, but the name Skinwalker is the one that sticks. Today, the word shows up in movies, books, and video games, but to the Navajo, it remains something that should not be spoken. A real danger, not a Halloween mask. The stories told outside often miss the truth at the center, that a skinwalker is a person who chose to break every sacred law, and in doing so, became something less than human and more than human all at once. So the warnings remain. If you hear a voice calling you from the night, do not answer. If you see an animal whose eyes look wrong, do not follow. If you feel watched when you are alone, do not linger. These are living beliefs told carefully and with respect. And somewhere out there in the vast silence of the desert, where the wind carries voices that are not voices, the Skinwalker still walks.